Stop. Only 3% of you are subscribed. If you believe disabled parking spots are sacred, if you want to see entitled people learn hard lessons, hit subscribe right now. A 42-year-old woman stands before Judge Caprio, parking in a handicapped space. No disabled placard, no permit. Victoria Bennett, driving a Range Rover, designer everything. Judge Caprio looks at the citation. Ms. Bennett, you parked in a designated handicap space at the Warwick Mall. You don't have a disability placard. Is this correct? She shifts impatiently.
Your Honor, I was only there for 15 minutes. The regular lot was full. It was just easier.
Easier?
Yes, I had shopping to do. I didn't think it was a big deal.
Comment where you're watching from right now, because what Judge Caprio discovers about this woman will leave you speechless. What nobody in that courtroom knows yet, including the woman herself, is that there's something about her medical history that's about to change everything. And Judge Caprio's verdict? Nobody sees it coming. Subscribe. You need to see this. Wednesday, 10:30 a.m., Providence Municipal Court. Case 37851. Victoria Bennett, parking in handicapped space without permit. Victoria approaches confidently, well-dressed, expensive jewelry, the posture of someone who's never really been told no. Judge Caprio reviews the citation. Ms. Bennett, this violation occurred on October 3rd at approximately 2 p.m. The parking enforcement officer noted your vehicle, a 2023 Range Rover, was parked in a clearly marked handicap space. You had no visible placard, correct?
Yes, but...
And when the officer asked if you had a disability permit, you said no, correct?
Technically, yes, but I was only going to be a few minutes.
The citation was issued after you'd been parked there for 45 minutes. Victoria's face flushes.
Well, shopping took longer than expected.
Drop a comment. Have you ever seen someone park in a disabled spot who clearly didn't need it? Share your story. Judge Caprio looks at her directly. Ms. Bennett, do you understand why handicapped parking spaces exist?
Of course, for people who need them.
And you didn't think you were taking a space from someone who actually needed it.
The lot was huge. There were 3 other handicap spots. I didn't think one would matter.
One always matters to the person who needs it and can't find it. Victoria sighs.
Look, I understand I made a mistake. I'll pay the fine. How much is it?
$350. She reaches for her purse.
Fine. Can I pay now?
Ms. Bennett, this isn't just about paying a fine. This is about understanding why what you did was wrong.
I said I understand. I won't do it again. Can we move on?
Judge Caprio looks at his screen, scrolling through something. His expression changes. Ms. Bennett, I'm looking at your driving record. You have 2 previous citations for parking in handicap spaces. One in 2021, another in 2022. Victoria shifts uncomfortably.
Those were mistakes too.
3 times isn't a mistake, it's a pattern.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry, and I don't think...
That's the problem. You don't think about anyone but yourself. Her voice gets defensive.
That's not fair. You don't know me.
I know you've been cited 3 times for taking spaces from disabled people. That tells me what I need to know. Hit like if you think repeat offenders deserve harsher penalties. Judge Caprio continues. Ms. Bennett, let me ask you something. Do you know anyone with a disability? Anyone who actually needs those spaces? Victoria pauses.
Not really. I mean, I'm sure I've met people, but no one close to me.
So you've never watched someone struggle to walk from a distant parking spot because the handicap spaces were taken?
No.
You've never seen an elderly person with a walker unable to access a store because someone like you decided just this once didn't matter?
No.
Judge Caprio sets down his papers.
Ms. Bennett, I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to really hear it.
He pauses. The courtroom is silent.
My wife had multiple sclerosis.
Victoria's eyes widen slightly.
For the last 8 years of her life, she needed a wheelchair. Those handicapped parking spaces? They weren't conveniences for her. They were necessities. The difference between being able to go shopping or staying home. The difference between independence and isolation.
His voice is steady but emotional.
And do you know how many times we'd arrive somewhere and find the handicapped spaces taken by people who didn't need them? People who were just running in for a minute? People who didn't think one space mattered?
Victoria looks down.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I used to watch my wife's face fall when that happened. Watch her decide that maybe we should just go home because the walk from the regular lot was too far, too painful. And all because someone couldn't be bothered to walk an extra 30 seconds.
The courtroom is absolutely silent. Judge Caprio takes a breath.
So you'll forgive me, Ms. Bennett, if I take these violations seriously. I understand. I really am sorry.
He looks back at his screen, scrolls. His expression shifts again.
Ms. Bennett, I'm also seeing here that you had a medical appointment at Rhode Island Hospital last month, September 14th.
Victoria's face goes pale.
How do you? That's private medical information.
It's linked to a court-ordered medical evaluation from a previous case. It's in your record.
I don't understand why that's relevant.
Judge Caprio looks at her carefully. The evaluation indicates you have a degenerative spinal condition, early stage. Is that correct? Long pause. Victoria's voice is quiet.
Yes.
And your doctor has recommended you apply for a temporary disability placard, correct?
He mentioned it.
But you haven't applied.
No. Why not? Victoria's composure cracks. Because I'm 42 years old. I'm not disabled. I don't want to be. I don't want to admit that I need help. Comment if you did not see this coming. Judge Caprio's voice softens. Ms. Bennett, having a disability doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you less than. It means you have a condition that requires accommodation. That's all. But I can still walk. Most days I'm fine. Sometimes my back hurts and walking long distances is hard. But I can manage.
So on the days when you parked in handicap spaces, Victoria's voice cracks.
I was having bad pain days, but I didn't want to apply for the placard because then I'd have to admit that I'm becoming one of those people who needs it.
The courtroom shifts. This isn't a simple, entitled rich woman story anymore. Judge Caprio leans forward. Ms. Bennett, you understand the irony here, don't you? You've been illegally parking in spaces that you actually qualify for. Spaces that exist for people exactly like you.
I know. It's stupid.
It's not stupid. It's denial. And I understand denial. But denial doesn't change reality. And it doesn't give you the right to use those spaces without proper authorization.
I know.
Judge Caprio sits back. Here's what's going to happen, Ms. Bennett. For your third violation of parking in a handicapped space without a permit, I'm fining you $500. That's higher than the standard fine because this is your third offense. Victoria nods, accepting it. However, I'm going to make you an offer, and you can choose to take it or not." She looks up, confused. "If you apply for a disability parking permit, which your doctor has already recommended, and you show proof to this court that you've obtained it within 30 days, I will reduce your fine to $150. Victoria's eyes widen. You're reducing the fine if I get the permit?" "Yes, because I'd rather you use those spaces legally, as you're entitled to, than continue to struggle out of pride while simultaneously taking spaces from others illegally." I don't know what to say." "Furthermore, I'm requiring you to complete 20 hours of community service. But not just any service. You're going to volunteer with the Rhode Island Disability Rights Coalition. You're going to meet people with various disabilities. You're going to learn about the challenges they face. And maybe you'll learn to accept your own situation with less shame." Victoria is crying now. "Your Honor, thank you." "I'm not done. You're also going to attend a support group for people with chronic pain and mobility issues. 3 sessions minimum. Because you need to understand that having a disability doesn't define you. It's just one part of your life." "I'll do it. All of it." Subscribe now if you believe this is what justice should look like. Firm but compassionate. Judge Caprio's voice is gentle now.
Miss Bennett, my wife spent years wishing she didn't need that placard, wishing she could just park normally like everyone else. But eventually she accepted that the placard wasn't a symbol of weakness. It was a tool that gave her freedom. It let her keep living her life. Victoria wipes her eyes. "I'm so sorry about your wife." "Thank you. She passed 3 years ago. But I learned a lot from watching her journey. And one thing I learned is that pride shouldn't keep you from accepting help you need." "I understand." "Get the permit, Miss Bennett. Use it on your bad days. There's no shame in it. And more importantly, stop using those spaces illegally. Because even though you qualify, others need proper documentation too. The system works when everyone follows it." "I will. I promise." Victoria leaves the courthouse with tears still in her eyes. 2 weeks later, she applies for the disability parking permit. Gets approved within days. She starts volunteering with the Disability Rights Coalition. Meets people with MS, cerebral palsy, chronic pain conditions, mobility issues. One woman she meets, Carol, 63, uses a wheelchair. "I'm so glad you got your permit," Carol tells her. "Don't be ashamed of it. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Knowing when you need help is a strength." Victoria completes her 20 hours, then volunteers 20 more. She attends the support group, hears stories from people dealing with similar conditions, realizes she's not alone, that accepting her condition doesn't make her less capable. It makes her more honest with herself. 3 months later, she returns to court to show proof of completion. Judge Caprio reviews her documentation. "You completed 40 hours instead of 20. Why?" "Because I learned something, Your Honor. Those people at the coalition, they're not defined by their disabilities. They're teachers, parents, professionals, volunteers. They're just people. And helping them made me realize that I'm still me, even with this condition." "That's a good lesson." "And I'm using my permit now, on bad days, without shame." Judge Caprio smiles. "I'm proud of you, Miss Bennett." Original fine reduced to $150 as promised. Case closed. As she leaves, she passes a woman in the hallway struggling with a walker. Victoria stops. "Do you need help?" The woman smiles. "No, dear, but thank you for asking." Victoria smiles back. "I have a disability parking permit now. If you ever need a ride somewhere close,
let me know.
The woman's eyes light up.
You know, sometimes I don't go places because I can't find parking close enough. That's very kind.
They exchange numbers. Victoria makes a new friend. The video of the hearing goes viral. Over 2 million views in 1 week. People across the world react. I thought this would be another entitled rich woman story. I was completely wrong. Judge Caprio didn't just give a verdict, he changed someone's life. This is what justice with compassion
Actually looks like. And the comment that hits hardest? She was parking illegally in spaces she actually qualified for. That's the saddest kind of denial. Here's my question. Did Judge Caprio do the right thing by reducing her fine in exchange for getting the permit? Or should he have just given her the full fine regardless? Comment your honest opinion. If this story moved you, share it. Like if you believe justice can include compassion. Subscribe for more Judge Caprio moments that prove the law isn't just about punishment, it's about transformation. Remember, sometimes the people who seem entitled are actually just afraid. And sometimes the best verdict isn't the harshest one. It's the one that helps someone become better. Thanks for watching. See you next time.